there is something about representing England that is really like, yeah, it's obviously something that I obviously love to do and want to keep doing if I can. But also it's something about like doing it with my friends is, or it's like my favorite of European youth is always the team event. Like it was always my favorite part, because like you can be on the bench right there with like one of your best friends, and it's like that's something that I really valued.
Happy Monday, everyone, and welcome back to Serving Up Trouble. This is the podcast about everything women's table tennis with me, Chloe Ireland. Here in England, we are on the last home stretch towards the Senior National Championships. That's the Mark Bates Senior National Championships, which is happening this weekend. So I know that there are going to be people all around the country getting in a couple of extra sessions this week, preparing for that big event, including my guest this week. Mari Baldwin, I think, has a bit of a reputation, and that is for being one of the nicest people in table tennis. Every time her name comes up at an event, it's always preceded by, somebody saying how amazing she is, how funny she is, how supportive she is of her teammates. And it was really nice to get a proper sit-down chat with Mari. We got through so much stuff in this chat. We talked a lot about identity, about being queer in the sport, and about, things that we wish that we had known before, but also about the different phases in a young table tennis player's career. That's going from under 11s into cadets, and into juniors, under 21s, and then into the wide world of the seniors. And some of those transitions can be a little bit more difficult than others. So it was really interesting to get Mari's perspective, because she's somebody who I think has recently done all of those transitions. She's only now coming into the world of the seniors. I think Mari is always presented in a more masculine way, and that's something that I've always really appreciated seeing in table tennis and in sports in general, because that's more how I've aligned myself. She's somebody that I've always just really looked up to, and I think that this interview has made me look up to her even more. So without further ado, here is my interview with Mari Baldwin. Hi, Mari.
Hi, how's things?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, thanks.
This is an unusual environment, being in a podcast room instead of in a training hall.
Exactly, it's different from what.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen you not in a table tennis hall.
No, I don't know when it would be.
No. We're not somebody that would cross paths in the wild.
True.
Really,
in the
like
wild.
most table tennis people. One of the reasons why I wanted you to be on the podcast is that you're someone who's quite recently, I think, been through all the transitions from cadets to juniors and now into the seniors.
Yeah.
And I actually think that there's some bigger discussions to be had about the gaps between those transitions.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And, some of the difficulties of going from one to the other. I think especially the last jump, which we'll get into.
Yes.
But actually, just to start off with nationals in, I think was it 2020?
Yeah, just before COVID.
2020,
yeah.
and you got into the finals against Tintin, and I was actually watching back on some of those points.
That's really not something that should be seen.
I disagree. There was one where you did like a really good point and then you like blew on your bat like it was a smoking gun, and I was like, that's quite a cool...
Because also, I remember because I had the clip in my hair and
like it was easy.
I had the full name on the back of my shirt and everything. That was a time. Yeah.
But I feel like that was quite a big moment where people really started paying attention to you as a player and as somebody playing for England, and the style, and the fact that you were disrupting quite a lot of the good players in England.
Not quite Tins, but
maybe not Tintin, but that's a high bar.
Near enough, exactly. Yeah.
Tell me about that day, that nationals. Was the aim to get to the finals?
No, absolutely not. I can't remember. I think I played groups, and I think I played someone who was actually at Nottingham at the time, which is Letitia McMullen, and I had a really close game with her in the first round or something, and I was like, I'm actually feeling quite good. I was like, this is good. And I think it was the round after that I played Denise, who was obviously very big noise and whatnot. And I think she'd been playing professionally at the time, full time. So I was like, oh wow. And obviously in training, she looks great.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I warmed up before, not very long, just with Craig Bryant, obviously. And I was like, you know what, I'm feeling good. Like, for me, when I play, it's just about, if my forehand's going on, I feel like a lot of other things fall into place. Mm-hmm. And it was going on, and I was like, okay, okay. And it was just quite, like, it was nothing special. Like, I don't think I played particularly well, but it was just, yeah, I just felt like...
You hit a purple patch and things slotted
honestly,
in.
It just felt more consistent, and I was like, oh, wow. And then all of a sudden, I think there's a clip of me somewhere, I think I reposted it ages ago, obviously, but it's like, I think I win on, like, the most, like, innocuous point. Like, it's really boring. Like, I think she just missed it or something. And, like, I literally just stand there, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I think I just kind of stand there and I just look around. I'm like, right, because normally I'm quite like I'm a mature, like, you know, if I'm playing, you tend to know. But I think I just kind of stand there. I'm like, right, because I think I didn't quite realise that meant I was playing on the Sunday as well. Mm-hmm. So then I come over to my mum, obviously, because I'm like 15, and my mum's like, wow, that's so exciting. And she's like, oh, Mari, like, you're gonna play tomorrow then? And I was like, oh, then we need a hotel for tomorrow.
You haven't, so okay, yeah, of course, because like you don't really think about being there for the finals day, do you?
No, like I think it was quite funny the way that everything just kind of it kind of happened quite quickly, that I was like, oh, actually this is quite a big deal, actually. That's obviously to me at the time.
Yeah. Well, it is a big deal, I think, to get to that stage. I mean, it wasn't your first, like, nationals
It was
title.
My first senior nationals.
It was your first senior
which
one.
Was really scary, actually. Yeah.
In cadets, you had some great success.
Yeah.
In like on the national scene. So I mean, let's go right back to the beginning now then.
Right.
When did table tennis first come into your life?
I preferred football until about maybe 13. 12, 13. But so I did both, and I remember I used to go play football for like 2 hours and then run over to play local league afterwards at like 7 p.m. to like 11. And it was like Wednesday, so midweek I used to do that, and I was like, right, I'm halfway through the week now, so it's okay. Mm-hmm. But then I used to do that. And I didn't take it seriously until maybe I think I did my first like little like under 13 nationals at like 12. And I was like, oh, this is quite exciting actually. I think I played and it was literally all backhands. So I was like, right, okay, this is interesting. I think I beat someone or lost too closely to someone who was quite good, like in the age group. And I was like, oh, wow, this is so exciting. So I was like, okay. Then I think I kind of was like, oh, like I kind of want to keep going. Because obviously, you know, when you first go to nationals, you're like, nationals, you know, even though
it feels like a big thing, isn't it?
And I'm like little 12-year-old me, and I've got like really like big fringe, and it's not great, but I'm there and I can barely see, but I'm playing my backhands. So I think and then I was like, oh well, I might as well keep going. And then I think 14 or something in like I was I think I took it quite seriously, and I was like, yeah, this is actually all right. And I wasn't playing very well, but I think I was still like, I want to do better. So I was like, okay. And it helped. I think it was the year that I was 15, cadet year. And I was like, I think Craig moved to the area. And then I was like, okay, might as well do stuff with him. And it was like, I actually, like, forehand came on leaps and bounds. Still, obviously, a long way to go with that, even now, 21. But I think it just helped like with confidence and stuff. And then obviously, the national title came that year, which is obviously great.
Okay. Yeah. So it was kind of all kind of condensed.
It was quite condensed.
So it was almost like a slow build, and then all of a sudden,
I think I went from very quickly from like local league to like actually national title. Yeah, it was.
And were you always a pips player?
Basically the whole time. It was this guy at my club, and he had like 20 different blades and all with different types of pimples on it, and he just gave me one time, and it was actually like this weird little Donic blade with like a curved handle. It was so odd. It was really weird actually. It was brilliant though. Loved that. And he gave it to me, and I low-key never looked back. That was it. That was the
style straight away.
But I think with like, I literally always pushed on my backhand anyway. Right. Probably tried to chop block with the smooth rubber, and it just
didn't happen. Yeah. And it's like, now I've got the...
Yeah, I didn't know that this was a possibility.
And then all of a sudden, it all opened up. I mean, it's interesting, because I feel like, I mean, you play with long pips.
Yeah.
Not a lot of cadet girls playing with long pips or knowing what to do against long pips. Yeah. So do you think that kind of gave you a little bit of a push forward early days?
Early days, like not many girls, like I think the style is when you're younger at least, push on the backhand, hit on the forehand. And obviously I did completely the opposite of that and was just a backhand player through and through. And I think a lot of people, even if they understood, like they had their coach telling them, just push one, roll one, like just do. I think it's hard to put it into practice, obviously, you know, because everyone knows how you're meant to do it, but actually doing it is very different.
It's how often you come across it as well. And it's like so I think you come across a lot of cadet players with short pips on the forehand so they can smack through it. But you don't come across a lot of long pips. So it's like having not just knowing what to do, but also being able to turn that into a game plan. So you're not just reacting to what you're...
with like your own game.
Exactly.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't just want to be reacting to what's
I think that happens a lot. Like, especially with me, is that if I manage to impose the way I want to play, it's such a different game. Because I get so caught up in lots of things so easily. But if I'm like, right, I just need to do this, and then it's okay. It becomes a lot easier for me and then harder for them. So
are you a bit of an overthinker on the table?
I think so. I think especially with the forehand side, I think the backhand was so natural to me that the forehand's so unnatural to me. It's something that, especially when I do like multi-ball at the uni with like Kelly and Alan and stuff, it's so like, it's something that is really like conscious to me. Like I have to actively really think about it, which is so annoying because like everyone else is the opposite, where it's like, the forehand's great, and then I just need the little backhand open up, and I'm like, no, actually, it's forehand whole table, no chance.
I mean, I think I'm the same. I've always been more comfortable on my backhand side. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because you've got your centre of gravity there, and you feel behind the ball is like just I've always been more consistent. But like if it's a nice feeling when you get like a good forehand.
It's the times I chose the biggest is when I know that I hit a forehand and it actually goes past someone, because I can't hit the ball very hard at all, at all, and it's something that I've also been trying to do. But it's when I hit it past someone, I'm like, wow, all right, we've made it. But then people do that to me about 10 times a set, and I'm like, oh. But to my one, it doesn't feel as impressive now.
Yeah, but that one was a good one.
Yeah, it was a really good one.
It was a really
top
good
edge, but it was a really good one. Yeah.
So when you go from the cadets into the juniors, I feel like that's the point where the game starts to change a little bit. Some of the cadets kind of start wising up to how to play against different styles, which creates some challenges for you as a player that now you've had your way of playing, it's been working for you.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, people are getting things back that they maybe weren't getting back before.
Yeah.
So how does a player like you then adapt in the juniors?
It's interesting because I think I actually had most of my success more in the junior category, because like the cadet was kind of the start that I was like, oh, this is actually all right. And then juniors, I kind of was quite like consistent, especially like when I started playing abroad. And that was really like obviously such a good experience because you do find more different styles there as well. So yeah, I also had to play against people that I thought were more awkward than me. So I remember this one Polish girl, she was really good, like medalled at Junior Europeans, and she had short on the forehand, long on the backhand. It was awful. It was horrendous.
That's nasty.
It was horrible. Yeah. But I was like, this is so like interesting that like, because obviously in England most people play smooth both sides.
Yeah.
But yeah, over there it's so much more variation. Like here we don't have a chopper at all in the women's
I
game.
don't think. No, well, we used to, of course, because we had Jo Parker. But I think not since her have I seen many. Yeah, like dominant. There's a couple in women's British League, but not maybe even at the
But, so I think that just so many different styles. So I think it was really good because also it's like sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe I should switch back, maybe I should, but then I see all these styles being so like prolific and I'm like, yeah, okay, actually this is all right. Like you can kind of see where I'm going as well as, you know what I mean, which is helpful.
That's nice. You can see the people ahead of you with a similar thing and you can kind of almost learn from them a little bit as well.
But also even on like the world stage, like Batra obviously is very good. And obviously even like to a slightly different extent, Sabine Winters had so much success, which is crazy. I
loved watching her games.
The way she plays is mental.
She's so forehand dominant as well.
Yeah, but the thing.
But she's got that ante and it's so disruptive, but then she's so strong. Like that's why I really like watching her. She's just got this like absolute like bomber forehand. Yeah. That
so unpredictable. As well.
And she just the success she's had has been really. Nice. It's like one of those people that I keep an eye on it, and I'm like, oh yes, that's really good because she won the top 16 recently.
Yeah, recently, which is
really cool.
But also, I think it was like quite like. Not easy, obviously, because it's top 16, but like she was quite like
she was comfortable. She looked comfortable
like,
in that.
I was like, okay, she's got that.
Yeah.
So it's good to see like obviously so many different, and also someone who can switch just when she like wanted to. She was just like, oh, I'll just do that then. Yeah. So I think seeing different styles is great.
Yeah. Well, how old were you when you first did your first international competition?
15. Yeah. Okay. So I think it was the season of cadets, and I think that's quite late to start doing stuff. Yeah. But obviously, like, it was better than never. So yeah, I think, yeah. And then it was that season that I did my first European youths.
Got you.
And then it just kind of snowballed. But obviously COVID happened, and it was all very
Do you feel like COVID kind of put a bit of a spanner in the works there? Because if you were on a bit of a trajectory,
a little
bit,
but it's difficult because also like after COVID, I still was like playing well, so I can't. I'm not but it's just like I'm kind of mindful, because obviously it was the 2020 nationals was like literally just before everything locked down.
I
think maybe literally like 2 weeks before or something. So it was kind of odd because I go from that and I'm like, oh wow, everything's so good, to going, you can't leave your house, mate. And I'm like, oh okay, cool. If I feel like it's like a fever dream, like it didn't.
I
so
feel like sometimes it's like, did that happen? It's like, yes it did, but it's a very odd time. But then you kind of come back to the table, and what have you always been somebody that kind of like, have you always had like a goal in mind, like where you want to take table tennis, where you want to go with it, or did you want to get into Team England? Like, what was the kind of feeling around that?
I don't ever say that I feel particularly like patriotic about it, but there is something about representing England that is really like, it's obviously something that I obviously love to do and want to keep doing if I can. But also it's something about like doing it with my friends it's like my favorite of European youth is always the team event. Like it was always my favorite part, because like you can be on the bench right there with like one of your best friends, and it's like that's something that I really valued. Like there was one year, it was we got top 16 with it, and I honestly felt like I was like, this is really good, like this is really nice.
It kind of adds another dimension to it as well. It's like, I think that like there's a lot of players that really enjoy the social side of it, and you have like a strong team. It's one of the reasons why I love the BBL. It's a team event, and you're kind of like, you're really rooting for each other, and you're coaching each other, and it's just like it changes the atmosphere, I think, a bit, rather than when you're on your own, on the table, like, in your head.
I used to play football, and like that's such a team, like it's so cohesive that you kind of have to talk to everyone, whereas with table tennis it's so like singular, and like if you're not careful it can become very like isolating, I feel.
For sure.
But so that's why the team always kind of was like, cool. And that's the thing with European youths, it's like, the singles is after. So like I do the team and I'm like, I have to do the singles, I'm like, it's not quite the same, is it? Like I look behind and there's just my coach there, and I'm
the vibes are different.
I'm like, oh no, like
Taking a break here to go from one long pips player to another long pips player. It's time for our tip of the week, and this week's tip is from Diego Sanchez. You may know Diego from his pseudonym Spin Reversal. He has a very successful YouTube channel. I believe he's currently playing in a league in Germany, and his speciality is in disruptive rubbers. So today's tip is all about frictionless anti-spin rubbers and how to take care of them. Take it away, Diego.
Today I want to give you some tips to help your frictionless anti-spin rubbers to last longer.
Whoa!
First, never clean them with water. Water removes the treatment that makes them frictionless. Instead, clean them with a soft cloth or use a product specially designed for this kind of rubbers.
So smart.
Also, avoid touching the surface with your hands, especially pressing it with your fingers or placing something heavy on it. These rubbers usually have sponge with slow recovery, so pressure can leave permanent marks. Last but not least, don't fold them because they can crack. Then, for avoiding permanent damage on the shape of the rubber, if you need to remove it from a blade, use a tool like this. I hope these 3 tips will help your anti-spin rubber to last longer. Thank you. See you.
Thanks, Diego. I really enjoyed the added sound effects with that tip. Now let's get back to Mari Baldwin and the rest of the interview. You've been playing for university teams.
Yes.
You've actually had a lot of success in university teams as well.
Yeah.
Which is quite nice to see, because you play for Nottingham. You've been at Nottingham University. I'm guessing the table tennis was a factor in you going to Nottingham?
Yeah,
is that
I feel
fair
like...
to say?
I think it was always very like strong, and obviously like I knew Kelly and the coaches there before. And obviously because the England setup used to be there, it was like... I kind of knew the campus, and like my parents used to know the city, like, you know, so like it kind of everything. There were kind of slotted nicely. It felt there's so many opportunities to play that you just don't get elsewhere. So it's like I was like, if I want to keep playing, then it gives me the opportunity to, however much or little I want to. It gives me that. You know?
It kind of keeps you in it in a way. I mean, I don't know if you did you ever, when university was coming into the question, have to think about whether table tennis was going to still be a part of your life, or was it not really in question that you were going to?
Yeah, I think I was always like, I want to keep playing. Yeah, because like regardless of level, I do think it gives me something. Like it's also like, yeah, it gives me something to do. Like it keeps me like, I think it gives me structure in a way. Like with uni, it's sometimes that you can lose that structure very easily. So I was like, okay, there's sessions every day from 10 to 12. If I don't have a lecture, I can be there. Like it gives me like very like an easy kind of start to kind of everything, and it keeps me doing things even if it's not actually for the table tennis. But it kind of is still for the table tennis. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Talking in general, just about like women's side of the sport. Because I've had various conversations with lots of people about, you know, we love table tennis, we love playing table tennis. Sometimes I think, especially in that just after juniors period, there doesn't seem to be as many opportunities to play table tennis. Sometimes I think the messaging around women's sport, you know, the kind of pink it and shrink it. I struggle with that a lot. But it was actually, you know what, it was very funny. I was when we were at WBL and we got the medals and they're on pink ribbons. And it's like the duality of man is that I was like, why is it pink? And then Grace, my teammate, was like, it's pink.
Yeah.
Like,
you're never going to please everyone.
Either way, you know, and it's, you know, I think like diversity within diversity.
Yeah, for sure.
Is definitely something that I'm quite passionate about. Trying to bring into sport and things like that. And like it's not just for one kind. Well, advertising to women in general, I think, is a little bit of a weird rabbit hole to go down. But I'm just kind of thinking from your perspective, you know, how have you felt, you know, being somebody that's been in this sport since you were younger? Have you ever come across like things that you felt could be better, or you know, attitudes, local leagues, all of these kinds of things? I feel like we all have very similar experiences in this world.
I remember it was when, like you say, local league, when I used to play in the Exeter League, which is it's actually great. Like, but I had this one guy who hadn't lost the whole season, and like I played him like in one of like the penultimate games of the season, and my average was like I'd already lost a few times over, so I wasn't very stressed by it. But I beat this guy in like 15-13 in the fifth or something, and he is fuming. But you know, sorry Rory Harries, I'm so sorry. Like, hope you're doing good. Like, you know, but
don't apologise. You won. Very good.
Yeah, but we won the league, so I was like, okay. But yeah, it's like I feel like league, especially for like younger, like girl. To be fair, any age, but younger especially. Like if you want to start playing, it's a very intimidating place to start. And I was lucky that my mum was very like, she'd come with me. My mum was very prepared to like defend me to the ends of the earth. So I was kind of safe in that knowledge. But it's not always the same for everyone. So yeah, I feel like there can be work there to make it more, you know, inclusive and stuff.
What's your kind of attitude towards like women's sport in general? I think it's really nice that it's had a big uptick, I think, especially because women's football gone massive. The Euros, you know, we've now got like, you
rugby's coming on as well.
The rugby, the Red Roses, that was really nice to see. And I think we're now starting to see more women's sports stars, you know, on posters,
stages,
buses, on social media, you know, kind of making a bit of a fuss in a way that's like their like their personalities coming through rather than marketing.
I think my favourite stat is something like Ilona Maher. Do you know?
Yes,
she's like the most followed rugby player at all. Like regardless of age, gender, like whatever. I think she's the most followed at all. So I think that's kind of nice.
I love that.
Yeah. That if you give women the stage, they can be very successful.
I really wanted to see her when she was playing in Bristol.
Literally, I wanted
to get tickets and I couldn't get tickets.
Because she was only there for like 3 or 4 months or something.
Yeah, it was. But you know that she like filled stadiums.
Yeah, well, of course,
like people went went to go watch it.
I almost did.
It was such a big thing. And, but I mean, do you feel like it's a good thing that it's getting more visible? What kind of things would you like to see happen within table tennis?
I feel like it's I mean, obviously table tennis is a bit of a different scale, but
it is,
obviously I feel like I think Tintin did like an ad with Nike or something.
Yes, she licked the bat.
And I messaged her and I was like, is this like, what's this? And she was like, they had a vision. And I was like, okay, like slay, like I'll leave that. But I think it's like she's next to like LeBron, like I think it cuts from her to like LeBron James, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. So I feel like there's obviously like levels to the game here. But I think there's obviously visibility and like marketability that I think maybe could be more tapped into, especially with like you have personalities internationally. Like Sabine Winter, I think is a bit of a personality. Do you know what I mean? Like, people who could kind of bring more. Because on the continent, I feel like there is some visibility for it.
Oh, definitely. I feel like in Europe, it's definitely having like a moment. I think it's tricky because you get this, you're kind of in this cycle, aren't you, where if you're not meddling, then there's the funding and the awareness isn't necessarily there. But then if that isn't in place, then meddling becomes harder. So you're kind of going round in circles in terms of like visibility. And I think in that cycle, women's visibility especially gets lost sometimes entirely. I have this in my head a lot.
Yeah, go on.
When we're like advertising women's events, I feel like a lot of women do not like being perceived, do not like being filmed, do not like being photographed, do not like being, maybe photographed in awkward positions, feel more self-conscious, like they're like playing a sport. And it's like the difference between promoting the sport and safeguarding the person who might not want that on the internet. Yeah. And I find myself wrestling with that a little bit. Like when I go and try and do content or stuff, so I'll ask somebody in my nervous little like please way. And, that some people are dead up for it and some people are like running a mile. Yeah. But it's kind of like, but then we're losing that person being visible to other people, to be like the cadets don't get to see that person. I know what you mean. Yeah, it's quite a it's quite a challenge,
a dilemma, for sure.
Yeah, but I don't know. What have you always like been okay with being out, like on the posters, whatever? Like, what's the?
To be fair, I think I've never been. I actually don't know if I've ever been on the cover of like one of the the programs you get. For like, I don't know if I've ever been on the cover, and I'm not sure what that says about me. Like,
someone needs to get Mari on a cover.
Exactly, please.
Cover girl, please.
I'm so there, like. Yeah. But it doesn't matter. I'm kind of always been around, and I know the way I look. So in terms of like visibility, I've always been quite visible, and also I wear my rainbow laces.
I've seen those on. I
think actually it was last year when me and Tia won the doubles that I actually had like, I think I don't know if it was an exec, I don't actually know, but I think she gave out like the medals or something, and she literally said to me, she was like, oh, I like your laces. I was like, yeah, thank you so much. I was like, I think it's really important actually, for visibility. She was like, yeah, it's really good. So that was actually, this is the only time that anyone's ever mentioned it to me, but I thought it was, I don't know, I feel like just being around is kind of visible. And obviously like in terms of the whole gay thing.
The gay thing.
I think obviously like women's sport tends to be very like so much more accepting. Mm-hmm. So I think we're lucky in that. And obviously my teammates from whatever team have always been very like supportive of that. Yeah. So I've kind of been lucky in that sense.
I think it's great that you're doing the rainbow laces thing. I mean, I think I've like maybe mentioned to you when I was like younger, I thought that like I was the only one. And then I like grew up a bit and I was like, I was literally
and you
surrounded.
Just look around.
I was like, wow, my gaydar was so broken. And it was, I even just had a conversation with somebody recently and I was like, really?
Yeah. I think I was talking to someone at WBR and they're like, yeah, me and my girlfriend. And I was like, oh. Yeah. I was like, how did I not clock that?
How did I not know these things? And it's such a, it's a weird experience, I think, kind of like growing up, knowing that you're gay or queer or, like however you identify. And I think sport does, I think especially for me, the body consciousness side of it and my sexuality definitely played like some weird mind psychological games with me for a while. So I think it's, it's quite an insular experience, quite an isolating experience at times. And I didn't know that I was just surrounded by people that I could...
So many people, actually,
It's like, I didn't realise that this sport was so gay.
Yeah, I think it's actually funny that I think probably straight people are in a minority, actually, which is great. Like, they should have that for once.
It's like, wow, we're taking up space. But I still don't think we talk about it as much. Or maybe like certain groups do. I don't know if it's like maybe, I know there's not that many years between us, but like a generation thing where I'm still so nervous about outing. Or like assuming or like bringing things to people that are like, I think there's still like a bit of a, you don't say anything unless they say it to you.
Yeah.
Whereas I think some of the younger people are just like, oh, you have a girlfriend? Cool. They're so like blasé around it.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, I think I'm kind of aware of how I present. And I think I choose to kind of actively like show it, whatever. So I think I've kind of been aware that everyone knows, and that when I was younger, before I even admitted it to myself, everyone also kind of knew. So I was like, okay, this is fine, because it's like, yeah, I feel like if I turned up and was like, yeah, my boyfriend, they would be like, don't lie, you know, they'd be like, who are you talking to? Like,
I mean, I had a boyfriend for a while.
it's all right.
I know.
This is a safe space.
It's a
Yeah.
safe space.
It's a safe space.
But I mean, there is something that's like quite nice about, you know, I've always kind of flipped between presenting more masculine and presenting more feminine, and then like kind of found a middle ground that I'm like comfortable with. But I think it's like, there's something quite nice in that, where I think people know that they can approach me because of the way that I look, which I think is quite nice. You cut your hair and all of a sudden you're a safe space.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like, you're flagging so much.
Exactly.
People,
I'm just kind of like, anyone can talk to me.
But it's also like when you play that you have like everyone always goes, like when I go to a new team, it's like, oh, you know, so like we've got the men's cut shirts for you, and I'm like, yeah, thanks mate, because I'm not wearing that little V-neck. What's going on? Yeah, I think it was this year actually we had a problem with the kit.
Really?
Yeah, and it was like, I was like, I can't wear it. Because they have like the really short sleeves.
they like,
and I'm like, how am I meant to like, what am I doing here? How am I meant to hit my big forehand?
Guns too big.
Exactly. How am I meant to whack my forehand? No chance.
I feel like that's a discussion within itself, like kit and having like different options and different, you know, I like struggle so much with, especially like shorts and
shorts
squats.
are a bit, because I was never a squat, where I remember the first time I ever got selected for England, obviously they have to give you the kit, and they were like, so we can give you a score, and I was like, ooh.
I'm gonna stop you.
Yeah, I was like, no thanks actually. I was like, so I'll just take the shorts. Actually, they're like, they're men's cut, and I was like, okay. Yeah, I was like, that's great. Thanks.
Yeah, I got some men's cut ones recently, and it's like, I need them to be like long, because
to
it's
be
like,
fair, I actually don't. I find it hard, because sometimes it depends how I feel. Like sometimes they'll, I don't know. It really depends on the day. Really.
I guess so. It's like sometimes I was like finding they were like riding up to a ridiculous degree, and I was just kind of like,
some people they also do that.
I mean, if it's a choice, it's a choice. If it's like if we're having to adjust every 5 seconds,
true. Like you're in the middle of the point.
It's just like somebody just have a little wiggle in my tight shorts.
Yeah, I do think that's another thing though. It's like about like self-expression within kind of the sport, like how you choose to like, even the way you play, the way you choose to dress about is kind of interesting, especially for girls. I think guys, it's more like rooted. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe a bit more rigid. In a way. I mean, when we were talking to Tintin on a previous episode, she was kind of talking about like how people's personalities come out in the way that they play. Yeah. So like, what kind of bits of your personality do you think you bring to the table?
I think it's really interesting actually, because Marcus Gustafsson, old England coach, he literally said to me, he was like, the reason I think that you do quite well in like European, I think because like there was a time where I was actually like getting through rounds and stuff at international, and I was like, oh wow. And he was like, I think the reason you play like you do reasonably well is because you actually play like your personality is quite aligned with the way you play, so it makes more sense. Do you know what I mean? Like in his head he was like, this is kind of like how I would imagine it. And I'm not sure if that's a compliment. I was quite happy with it at the time. I was like, slay Marcus. I was like, But it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's important that you feel like when you play, like you have to feel comfortable with it, obviously, because otherwise you're too busy thinking about that rather than like, and I do notice that sometimes I get waylaid. Like at WBL, I tried a little headband for the first time.
Oh yeah.
And I wasn't really sure about it, and I'm still not sure, but I do,
Is it to kind of keep the, but do you have it up or do you go over the, over the fringe?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just kind of like,
oh wait, no. I keep it like I rest it on the. Yeah.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah, but I'm not really sure about that. But but yeah, so it's just like you have to feel comfortable with how you play, and I think it's nice that I feel like my personality does come out on the table. Also with like the chowing and stuff.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that actually.
I honestly think it's really fun. Like I just like doing it, especially like I said earlier. It's like if I hit a big forehand, I'm like. Yeah, like that deserves a confirmation that was a good point. Yeah. But my favourite thing is when like you have a coach in the corner and they're also like that. Yeah. So it's funny because I've got quite a few, like Kelly's quite like that. She'll get quite like involved in the match, like maybe a bit over the barrier, and you're like, yo. And then Craig
Kelly's coming to join you.
Yeah, she might get But yeah, like Craig is the opposite. Like he sits in the corner like Iceman. Like he doesn't really like. He's very like chill about it. So I think it's kind of nice to have. Like different,
a bit of both.
Yeah, and both I think kind of help at different times. I think sometimes I do need to chill out. Yeah, I think there was a time that one time I played JBL and my mum was like, Mari, come on. I think maybe even an umpire said something to me about it. They're like, can you calm down, please? And I was like, oh.
That is devastating when you get to that point.
There was one point in my life where I was literally choing, but like it was so long. So it'd be like, cho, ale, yo. But it was like so elongated.
You just put them all together.
Exactly. I was like, I can't choose.
It's like 3 languages that you like put all together.
I'm just collecting them like, Infinity Stones.
Like Pokemon.
Yes, indeed.
That's what I'm trying to do with the England team. I'm going to get them all on the podcast.
Who else? Yeah, what, Jasmine next? Should I ask her? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll try.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's interesting. I find the psychology of sport really interesting. It's something that, like, you know, if I'm on a day off, I'll like read about sports psychology because I'm that kind of nerd. Are you like somebody who likes to think like that, or are you much more instinctive on the table? Like, how much like kind of psychoanalysis do you do when you're playing?
I think maybe more than the average, because like the way I used to play was so limited, right? Like up until like 14. Mm-hmm. I had no forehand to speak of whatsoever. So I think I just kind of had to work with what I had. So I was like, okay, backhand whole thing. But I tend to think of it as more like a game of chess. Because like, it's not just about what shots you have. Because especially like once you get to a certain level, everyone can play the same shot. So it's like, you have to be able to have something more that like, especially like with the pinballs, like disrupting it. So they can't just play how they want to play. If you have a tactic and you do it perfectly, that's a cho right there. Even if all it was a push.
What do you think about people that do it all the time, though? Like
I'm quite guilty of it.
Are you? Okay.
Maybe not every point. I think I have toned it down. Obviously, I feel like now I'm not a junior or an under 21. I feel like there has to be some kind of measure there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so maybe not every point. And also it's got smaller.
A little more like insular cho.
Yeah. Still a little bit out.
I mean, this is kind of like the next stage for you, really, because you are now out of the under 21s and you're going into the big wide world of the senior tournaments. And I think it is quite a big change.
Jump, yeah, for sure.
So like, how are you finding that, first of all? And what kind of what goals have you got for, you know, the future? Where is it you want to go? What's the like? I mean, do you think like that really, or
I don't know.
Do you just kinda...
I mean, I don't really think about not necessarily like goals and stuff because I don't know. I kind of just like on like a national level, I was very like national title, but then obviously you've got people like Tins, and it's like it's very hard to kind of think about it. But it's I think maybe it's been like national title is something that I would obviously like absolutely love. Not that is like a goal, but I don't know. I feel like the transition from junior to senior is very like hard, and I think maybe there could be some changes made in that regard.
I think because I think it's because that is a really difficult like point for a lot of female players. It's actually where we lose a lot of female players.
Many people
we lose
out.
So many people at the end of the juniors.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, what kind of things would you like to see in that time frame, or like things that would have helped you or would be helpful for you now?
We did have at one point an under 23 thing.
Oh, okay.
It was reasonably short-lived in the end, but there was like an attempt there, which I think in principle was a really good idea. But I think, it wasn't necessarily actioned in the correct way. But I think as an idea, it makes a lot of sense because it keeps people playing. It's just more engagement, I think.
Just some way to bridge the gap a little bit.
For sure.
Rather than just going from age groups into
it's
everyone.
Like, if you're not in the England team before you're 18, it can be such an upward battle kind of thing.
I think it is I don't think a lot of people really know how Team England kind of works, who's selected, what happens, and also like, you know, how people get ranking points, how people actually progress in the sport. I think sometimes it's tricky to have those goals in front of you because it's hard to know how things
but also like stuff
work.
Can change so quickly. Do you know what I mean? Like especially with like it depends. I think lots of girls make a lot of progress like when they're like maybe like 15, 16. So like you come out of cadet and you have that kind of boost, I think, that you can kind of just so it's hard to predict like who's going to be where at what time because there's a lot of movement there.
And obviously like, you know, very difficult decisions in terms, you know, for the team of like who's going to what's going to happen. And I think it must be quite true. Like, are you able to emotionally detach yourself from that in terms of like, am I going to this? Am I not going to this? Where like what's like, how do you kind of process those decisions? Because it must be a little bit
I think
tricky.
it can be quite, like, it's hard, especially, like, because table tennis is quite small, that, like, you kind of all friends get the letter and you're like, what does it say, you know? But it's like, I think it's, it can be hard sometimes, but I think to a certain extent, you do have to detach yourself because you don't want it to kind of consume everything. Because I'm like, I get an email, I'm like, oh, but I still have to do a lecture, or like I still have other things. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, that's a good thing about having other things in your life, and I think something that that Jill Parker's very much a big advocate for is having your education, having things outside the sport that keep you going in other ways. And I think that it is tricky when things don't quite go the way that you
might hoped.
But at the same time, you don't want to be analysing those decisions where the answers aren't quite there for you. You don't want to get wrapped up in that exactly. mental space, because that could affect your game in future.
Honestly,
as well.
And I think it has previously a little bit with me, but I did let it get to me quite a lot. But I think that was a few years ago, so I feel like I'm out of that now. But I think that it's important to do other things. Like I play football for fun at uni now, which is something that's actually brought me it's so nice just to be able to kind of switch off. So kind of finding other things to make sure that if something bad does happen, I'm not just kind of sat with it for the whole day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
you've got somewhere else to go. You can kick about a ball for a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Release some energy.
I've got places to be.
People to see, places to be. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But you're still in the England team. You're still training. You're still playing at a high level. There's still. I mean, do you I think that some of the other players must find you really useful because you're a disruptive player that they can also use to practice and get experience against.
Yeah, I think there was one time actually that I was a feeder in Portugal, I think, a couple years ago, and I think someone had to play someone like me. Oh, do you know what? It might have been Sabine Winter, and she was like, "Oh, can I practice against you?" And it was 20 minutes. It was nothing crazy, and she literally just went free to my backhand. And I was like, "Oh my god!" And I'm not saying I influenced her to switch to.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, exactly. But it was so interesting that people do kind of need that little, even professionals, they need that kind of little
dial in.
Yeah. Just to kind of feel how it feels.
I mean, you played in the WT competitions in Manchester. Was it Manchester? Yeah. How was that? Home soil, quite a big tournament?
It was really odd because obviously I'm always used to going away to do these things. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'll just hop on the train. And I was like, oh, I'm actually at an international competition now.
Yeah.
And it was one time that I was on a table and Christian Carlson asked me to cross knock, and I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, do you know what? Just this once, don't worry about it, yeah. And I was like, oh, it's so odd having players here. And then someone I know from the Spanish team was like, oh, do you know anything to do in Manchester? And I was like, wow, why are you here? But it's really fun actually.
Yeah.
I think, and also the Star Contender in London.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, I think that was really good.
Just casual
Yeah, and I think it was when we were practicing on the table at the Star Contender, I think maybe Miwa Harimoto, she took one of our balls. And I think
she stole
and Jasmine was like, excuse me. And we all looked at each other, we were like, that's crazy. That she actually went up to her. No chance I would go up to Miwa Harimoto and be like, excuse me, that's my ball. Yeah. And it didn't even have England on it or anything, so she could have just been like, no. She was actually very nice about it, to be fair to her.
Yeah.
But that was...
Wow, Jasmine, guns blazing. You know what, respect.
Yeah.
It was her ball.
It was terrifying, but I thought it was...
Everyone hold their breath for 2 minutes.
I think we just kind of looked at each other and were like, okay. We kept practicing. We were like, if she doesn't notice, we're not here. No problem, yeah.
Just to kind of finish off this chat, if we kind of looking back over your kind of career so far, so far because you've still got more to come.
So much more
to come. But what kind of things would you like to have heard? If you could give advice to yourself, from the beginning, what kind of things would you tell yourself?
I think it kind of depends on what time, because there was one point where I was really let's do it. But I think it's there was obviously a lot of problems with like doing the academic thing and the table tennis thing. So I feel like just kind of do stick with the academic thing. It does like, do you know what I mean? I think you can do both. Obviously Tintin proves it extremely well, crazy well.
I have no idea how she does it, but she's a superwoman.
I think it's completely possible, but you do have to like want to do it, obviously.
Yeah.
So I think I struggle with that sometimes, is that how much I still want to like pursue that stuff, especially when like uni's come into somewhat of an end, and then I'm like, where's the kind of training gonna be, or like where, like location, also like when, how, So I think in terms of like what I would say to my younger self, hit a forehand. Please.
Well, maybe when a bit earlier, like a little bit earlier, just be like, maybe the forehand.
Maybe just actually like turn and actually play the shot. Like, it's crazy, I know. So that would definitely be a big thing, because then it wouldn't be such an issue now. But I think also just kind of be patient with myself. I think I was quite hard. There was a point where I was quite harsh, and that doesn't actually help in the long run, especially like you said about psychology and stuff. Like, that doesn't help when I'm trying to play and trying to actually win, because you're just being so like mean. That's not helping anyone. Do you know what I mean? So I think, and obviously, as you said, plenty of gay people around. It's a safe space, no problem.
Don't have to think much longer than you do about that.
Don't worry about stuff like that. No problem.
I think that's it for us. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
I hope you've enjoyed it.
Such fun.
Thank you so much for listening. That's all we have time for this week. If you enjoy this podcast, then please make sure to give us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It really helps us to get discovered. If you're not already following us on Instagram and TikTok, then you can find us at Serving Up Trouble. I repost lots of content pretty much daily on those accounts. So if you want to see some of the best women's table tennis points, then head on over to there. There's usually some good stuff that I repost on my stories. There is also a brand new Substack page. If you don't know Substack, it is a new platform for articles and blogging. My aim is to try and do one article every month. This month, I have done an article all about sports bras, which I hope will be entertaining and informative. I did have quite a lot of fun putting it together. Join us back here on Monday, the 23rd of March for our next episode and our next guest. I'll see you then. Bye.